I know, I'm just like you. I mean, my eyes start to roll in the back of my head when someone says, yeah, I'm using an integrated solution. Can you work with that? It's like, you know, you're a deer in headlights because we're not developers, we're salespeople, you know. But we have a lot of integrations, we have a lot of help for you, and so we just want to make that as easy as possible. Talk a little bit about our sales partner resources, and then we'll try to give you guys about 10 minutes at the end for a Q&A. And so Eric and I will just kind of banter back and forth to try to give you some experiences that we've had back and forth. So let's start with the B2B and the professional offices and services. So obviously, B2B, so I'm going to get real base level here, because I know there's a lot of you that know what that is, but there's probably a few that don't know what that is. So I just want to make sure everybody knows. Businesses, when they get someone paying them with a corporate credit card or a business card or a purchasing card, Visa and MasterCard say to that, Mr. Merchant, they say, hey, if you give us some more information about that transaction, about your business, we're going to give you a better, lower rate on that transaction. So it's a better rate to the merchant for providing extra reporting details. So our software, when a transaction comes into it, we're looking and getting that authorization, but we're also looking to see how that transaction or how that card is set up. And we're coming back and letting them know, you've just taken a purchasing card, you've just taken a corporate credit card. The extra information that's required to get that a better rate on that is about 15 to 20 extra line items that the merchant would have to know all that detail. They'd have to have us using a software that does level 2 level 3 processing, and then they would have to enter all that information in. We do it for them automatically. We've got a defaulted table on the back end of their Paytrace account that gathers this data, like when they enter in the ABS, that pulls it into that transaction. We know their SIC code, we know the merchant's zip code, we add a line item for it, we'll put an invoice number in there if one's not provided. So all of that extra reporting information is sitting in the back end of the Paytrace account, and it's being applied to the cards as they're presented for payment. So we have the defaulted table. CoCard, this is another tool that we give to our sales partners. We give them the tool of auto-filling that defaulted data for them. So CoCard is doing that already on their Paytrace account, so it's just going to automatically happen. I mean, it's truly the magic in the back end that's happening. This extra reporting information gets transactions down from, you know, if you're seeing them in the 2.65, the 2.95, the 3.25, it gets them down into the 1.8, the 2.1, anywhere on an average of 50 basis points up to 100. I've even seen it a little bit more than 100 basis points. This is straight savings to the merchant, straight savings right off the top. You come in and do this, you're going to be their hero. I mean, and you're probably your hardest thing might be convincing them it's really true, you know, because it really is. It's not too good to be true. So it doesn't cut into any of your margins. You know, you've got your basis points on or whatever you're pricing them at, but it's just straight savings right off the top to the merchant. And you'll be a hero for life if you can bring someone to that and let them see those kinds of savings.
I'm going to lean in here to add some color to the conversation. So I was at an account last week, nice account, they do about $1 million a month, and they switched over to a terminal Paytrace, still doing exactly the same thing that they are doing now, card number and amount, and their projected savings conservatively is going to be about $5,000 a month. There's somebody here that was just telling me that they just did a savings analysis on their existing account, and they're going to be saving their existing merchant $500 a month. And there was some conversation I heard just yesterday where people are like, look, $50 isn't enough to make someone move, right? $500 is going to get somebody's attention, right? And you have merchants in your portfolio that may not have started out as B2B accounts, but they are now taking B2B payments, right? People like you and me are walking into their store and using our business cards at their businesses, and they're paying too much. So in this conversation, Marcy gets to be the good cop and I'm the bad cop, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of bad news right now. If you don't take care of your merchant, somebody will, right? And people are going out there and suddenly realizing, look, I can actually raise my margin, right? This guy I was talking to who saved the $5,000, he actually moved it from 10 basis points and a few pennies up to 25 basis points. So he is actually making more money on this account now and still saving the merchant money, right? But I mean, talk about a win-win scenario, right? But I'm telling you, one of your homework items is to go through and start saying, which of my merchants are paying corporate standard, right? How many of my merchants are seeing MasterCard key entry, right? Because those are all rates that we can magically lower down. And I'm just gonna tell you, if you don't do it, somebody will, right? And on some of these accounts, these are the guys we really like. I mean, they're pushing good money, and it doesn't come out of your pocket, right? I mean, you're still getting paid, but you're the hero. And I encourage you, November, December, it can be a little bit of slow time. This is a great time to start pulling reports in your own portfolio and taking a look at those interchanges and see what I can do and give it a try, My challenge to you is just try one account and just tell them, look, we heard about this Paytrace thing. I'd like to see if it can save you some money. And once you do it, I'm just gonna warn you, it's like crack cocaine. Suddenly your eyes are gonna be opened up and like, hey, we can help save my merchants money and retention is gonna go through the roof. Now my problem is, how do I find more merchants like that, right? These are the fun accounts. When we hear you talking about a strategic move to leveraging better technology strategically, Paytrace, we invest millions of dollars a year to make this service better and better, right? And so we are staying on top of interchange qualifications so your merchants don't have to. I mean, how many times have you gone in and just begged your merchant, please, please put in the zip code. I'm begging you, put in the zip code, right? Why are you doing that? Let's let technology do it, right? I mean, with the interchange, Marcy mentioned it. It's like merchants are downgrading because they're not putting in their own zip code. Source zip code is a requirement for level 3. If they do it wrong, it's going to cost them, and sometimes over 100 basis points. Why are we penalizing your merchants for something you already know, right? The people I've met here, if you were in their office, you would key in their zip code for them, right? Because we're just that kind of people. We want to help them. Why aren't we leveraging technology to do that? And I think that's really what Paytrace is doing, is putting a really high-value technology solutions in your hand to significantly save your merchant. So I gave you one homework item. I'm going to give you another homework item. Tomorrow you're doing a deep dive into interchange. You need to know the difference between MasterCard Data Rate 1 and MasterCard Data Rate 3. Who knows, who tell me what the spread is on that? We've got a couple hands over here.
90 points.
90 points between Data Rate 1 and Data Rate 3. Is that the best case scenario for that? Large ticket. Who can tell me the spread between Data Rate 1 and large ticket?
Large ticket varies depending on how large the ticket is. It's like 1, 2.
You guys are doing your homework. I love it, right? So I'm not going to take all your time because that's for tomorrow. But that is a big deal, right? And here's the thing. Many of your merchants, you're going to be seeing them coming in at MasterCard Standard. You can tell me what Standard is. It's a nightmare. 2.95%, right? You're doing an injustice to your merchants if you're seeing MasterCard Standard on their statements. Something is going wrong. And MasterCard does it on purpose. They want this data, so they're penalizing them, right? So now you have a technology solution that can magically make that go away, right? I mean, it's just smarter processing. So where is this? Where do you see this? You're going to be surprised. I walked into my dentist. His insurance company started paying him with a MasterCard. Never seen it before. I would not say dentists are one of our target markets, but he saw me and he's like, we love Paytrace. I'm like, are you sure you're talking about the right Paytrace? Because we have 50 employees. And, but no, it's saving them a ton of money. We walked into an electrician. One electrician does residential, walk away, right? We're not a good match for them. Send them somewhere else. Not going to hurt my feelings. They do commercial business. You need Paytrace because it's going to make their effective rate plummet. So,
some other characteristics of them, they run a higher transaction
They're tech savvy, they're business savvy. So the flip side of that is they're the type of merchants that aren't going to be calling in for support all the time. They're not going to be bugging you as a sales agent because they're smart and they get it once you get them trained. They're less susceptible to leave. I mean, if you get them set, and especially if they're using an integration, they're using stored customers, and they're happy, they're going to stay put. And the average retention rate on a business customer is twice as long as any other type of vertical that you might be in. So retention is much higher for these guys. They value quality over price too. They're not as price sensitive.
And they have to be, right? I mean, look at our price. It's a nickel a transaction, right? So I'm just going to tell you, you start thinking Paytrace and restaurant, the math doesn't work out, right? But I had an account we just talked to, they're doing 600 locations moving over to Paytrace. And the guy's like, hey, Eric, I want a price concession. It's 600 accounts, right? That's a lot of money. And I said, look, if they can't afford a nickel, you know, it just doesn't work out. I mean, look, I'm saving you thousands, in this case, hundreds of thousands of dollars that can afford a nickel, right? Isn't that a nice conversation to have? I mean, this is a product that empowers you to realize I'm bringing real value to the conversation, right? I'm not going to argue with you over a nickel for crying out loud. This is a product that's going to save you thousands of dollars, and I'd like to get paid at the end of the month. So, you know.
You know, last week I had a new reseller come up to us, and they said, look, we've got to have a better rate on this because it's our merchants are not going to like it. They're not going to buy it unless it's a better rate than that. And I thought, you know, you're not seeing the value, I think, in our product. Number one, when I was selling, I just said, here's your choices. Here's what's a good fit for you. This, and this. Let them make the decision of what's too pricey and what's not too pricey. You know, it was like this, before they even came on, they were already making a decision of, you know, I wouldn't present this to a merchant because I think it's too pricey. I'd say just lay out all the options for them and let them decide what works for them. And then just also, I just pointed out, if these guys are business customers, the value is there for them. This is a drop in a bucket. The one-time setup fee is a drop in a bucket to them. They'll make it up on their first large transaction. Boom, it's over. And then, you know, it's a software as a service, so we've got to get paid our monthly charge and a monthly fee that we charge in our per item. So it definitely pays for itself, for sure. And we're constantly reinvesting into our technology. We're always trying to be better. So, you know, that's what keeps us going and keeps making our product better and better. The fees that we collect so that we can reinvest back into our company.
Go to the next slide. It has a graph on it. It's really
Okay. So yeah, so I was telling you, their sweet spot merchants are with us twice as long. Their transactions are growing at a much faster rate than regular merchants that we have in our portfolio.
Look at that number. Year over year, 70% growth for our sweet spot merchants. With sweet spot, we would say, hey, use our integration. They do at least some portion of B2B. 70% growth of these merchants. You were talking about yesterday about where the growth curve is on our industry. It's in B2B. I was at ETA in Las Vegas this summer. MasterCard came up and said, we think in the US GDP that B2B and B2G represents 50% of the economy, and it's less than 10% tap for plastic. That's not the same for consumer spending, right? Consumer spending, people are getting tapped out, right? Everyone that's taking plastic there. It's not the same for business, right? These guys have been doing PO and invoicing for years, and they just haven't migrated yet. So you're at the beginning curve of that. And this is a cool product to walk into there and help it make it more effective, more efficient.
10% penetration into $1 trillion segment, market segment. So the opportunity is, you know, practically endless there. I tried to make a little note there. A lot of times we get asked, well, so what SIC codes are in these groups of prime merchants? It varies. I mean, obviously it's the business services, the professional services. We see horticulture in there, which is kind of an unusual one. Durable goods, telecommunications.
Manufacturers, wholesalers.
Oh yeah, medical supplies, obviously, yeah. what was the other one? Oh, charitable giving. So believe it or not, that one comes up. So you think about, you're at an auction, you're buying something, it's a 501c3 that's putting on the auction. You're gonna worry about your business card. It's a tax write-off. So we're seeing a lot in that vertical. Insurance sales, yeah.
I don't just tell people, where do you buy, right? I mean, as
Yeah.
a business owner, where do you buy? And, you know, it's a paradigm shift, right? We're not really interested in restaurants. I'm really interested in the restaurant supplier, right? One thing is, that guy's gonna be around, right? Restaurants, notorious, I love them, right? I like eating, but they're out of business in 2 years, right? The restaurant supplier is doing 10 times the volume, and he's been around for like 10 decades, right? And so it's just a paradigm shift to think, where are businesses buying from?
Go to the next slide. All right, E&P, oh my gosh, this has been a long haul. And at Paytrace, whenever we hit a milestone, we all go, woo! So can you guys all help me do that? We can just have 1 week celebration here, 1, 2, 3, do it. Woo! Here we made it, finally. It's been a long haul. It's available on the TSYS platform. It's an Ingenico device, the IPT320. Geez, jumping in the background there. Only available at POS Portal right now. We'll look at maybe seeing, we're getting some feedback, and we're always listening. You know, I'm always listening to what the sales partners are saying, and our support team's always listening to what the merchants are saying, and we're always representing the voices that speak to us, and we're kind of getting a little bit of, we hear there's another vendor out there that we might need to look at too, so we'll see. Yeah.
Well, that's, adding that, will I also have the annual swiper fee?
Yes, yes, because it's encrypted. Yeah. So in production launch is October 30th, so we're just right there. So very excited. We did a fully integrated solution, so we control it. So if something goes wrong with the device, they're not calling POS Portal, they're actually calling Paytrace.
We're running short on time, so let's hit it real quick. There's 2 things I want to end with. Number 1, Marcy is your account manager. If you have any questions, you should have her email. If there's any collateral that you need, you walk away with, you should make sure you have her email. Marcy is your biggest advocate. Last 2 weeks, Marcy had 4 ISOs that came to us, and she turned them all down. They're just like, you're not a good match for us. The reason why I bring that up is that you guys have a powerful solution in here. We don't let everyone become a Paytrace reseller. We're very protective of our brand. And so this is not a service that's just available to the public. To that end, talking to someone, we don't sell merchant accounts, right? We don't compete with you. The only way we sell Paytrace accounts is when you sell Paytrace accounts, right? So I want to bring that up because there's a level of partnership that we need and we expect, but we're not ever going to be taking your accounts and then trying to flip them over to someone else, right? Our technology doesn't work that way. Quite frankly, we are a technology company. We like being a technology company.
Okay, the only thing I want to say about ISVs is don't sweat it. Seriously. I tell people this all the time. I go, hey, I understand it. In my mind, I know how it makes sense to me and it works and we can get it done. I tell people, you know, I used to walk 9 feet through shag carpet to turn the channel. So if I can get it, you can get it. I mean, you just need a basic understanding of it and then let our integration team help with the heavy lifting. We just had a new hire that's actually kind of the bridge between our support team and that merchant who's doing a custom integration. And one of the things I'll say about this is that we had a reseller call us, and he's familiar with Spokane, which is where we're at in the Pacific Northwest, and he knew his customers right down the street from our office. And he called up and he said, hey Marcy, would you do me a big favor? Would you go down there and do a demo for them in person? So I did. I mean, what other of your sales partners is going to go down the street and do a demo if it's in the same hometown as you? So I go down there, and this business customer did a custom integration, and they had a very tech-savvy IT team. He had that integration done within the week. So I mean, it can be done. We can help along the way. So don't ever discount it out, I guess, basically. So let us help you on that. And then this is just an example. You can go to the website, you can click on, we've got some great integrations like with Barossa and Bill and Pay, which are QuickBooks solutions. Something new that we just started, we've done 2 of them. In fact, we did the first one with Barossa, we did the second one with Bill and Pay. But every month, we're going to spotlight an ISV. And so we'll send out an announcement to corporate and they'll distribute it out to you guys. But I would just encourage you all to jump on those ISV spotlights, which we'll be doing monthly. They're great. And these are your resources. We'll do free demos. I'm going to do one for Lloyd. We do free merchant trainings. Paytrace University, it just gives you more information. There's short 30-minute webinars with our sales trainer. And then last, connect with Paytrace. Just put your email address in there. We're going to send you a weekly or a monthly update of what's coming down the pipe that you might be interested in joining as a webinar.
If I have a merchant that's listing client of mine on Paytrace and like the local bank comes in and wants to take them away using Paytrace, am I protected or?
We only will move data with your written permission. So if you give us your permission to move them, we'll move them.
So they can take the customer but not the data?
They can't take their credit card information that's in there. They can't take the reporting. They can't take all the username and passwords. It's going to be really difficult. It's a very sticky product.
And you're going to know when they're leaving because they have to contact you to close the account.
Yeah, I'm sorry to get that.
I have one more true story. So this Nicole, my retention specialist, started coming to my office. Yeah, I just through Paytrace. Look at the statement. We saved this merchant $1,000. We're a hero. I'm like, yeah. So she comes in. It's like crack. Every week. Yeah, look at we did this again. I go, okay, but it's time for us to start making some money on these margins too. So like she said, I said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, let's approach it next time. Say, hey, we can save you this much money, but we're gonna have to put you on a new program. You were at 20 basis point. We're gonna raise you to 30, but we're gonna end up saving you $1,000. So, you know, I have a for-profit business here. I need to make some money on these savings too. So there is a way. It's not just there's a way to increase your margins on this thing, not just a one-way street. But it's great. I tell you, I'm a big fan. So thank you. Thanks for presenting, and they'll be back here.
Who do you contact if you have a software vendor that wants to integrate with you? And the second question is, can we lock it down if I bring the software vendor there? Where they go?
Absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of people that have, in fact, Eric's going to be getting on a guy tomorrow that's a sales partner. He thought of the integration for parking garages, and he's picking Eric up in his yacht tomorrow, and he spends most of his time down in the Caribbean because he got in on the ground floor for these integrations for parking. Saw them going away from the coins to the slide your cards, and that's his total integration.
Marcy's your contact.
Yeah, contact me.
Marcy will do it.
Yep, I'll hook you up with Eric.
Marcy@paytrace.com. MARCY.
Got it. All right, give my hand.
We're going to do a drawing for the Paytrace feedback if Marcy would like to.
Okay, and then Ray, I'm gonna while they're setting up, let's do it. So we're doing another drawing for. Lorraine. Mark, they're here. Congratulations. And that's for a Paytrace.
Paytrace.
Gift bag.
A rabbit jacket, a sweat top, a t-shirt, a $100 gift card, and Get your size and I'll switch you out.
Okay.